a story from Pakistan about women being allowed to go into a temple. And it's very big news. Up all night's Rani Singh is here to tell us why. Hello, Rani.
Hi, Rod. How are you?
Very well. So, where is the temple and why the big fuss?
You know, I've come to this story today because there's a big pilgrimage starting around this temple. It's called the Subramila Temple, and it's in the southern Kerala state of South India, and it's one of the most important Hindu temples in India. Now, this pilgrimage I've spoken of is when millions of people, even Muslims and Christians, will undergo a 41-day fast, and then they will travel barefoot through to this temple, which is through forests. And the temple deity is a god called Ayyappa, and he's considered to be in the form of an eternal celibate in penance. So it's mostly men and very, very young pre-puberty girls and post-menopausal women who are allowed to come and make obeisance. But actually, it's normally 99% men, or 99.8% men. And even religious women will stay away. So,
is there a religious reason? I mean, is there a truly religious reason for this bar on women?
well, that's debatable. And in fact, although there was a state ban on women of menstruating age coming and making obeisance and doing this kind of thing, that's women between the ages of 10 and 50, just a short while ago, a 5-judge court revoked this ban and, in quotes, said it wasn't essential practice, although that can be interpreted in many ways. So many people, especially educated liberals, in quite an educated state, I must say, where there's a high literacy level, interpreted this as meaning that women could in fact go, but no, there have been statewide protests, nationwide protests, and it's even spread across the world now. And initially, the BJP, the ruling Hindu nationalist party in India, and its offshoots said, oh, yes, this is a good thing, it's good to be liberal. But sensing the public mood, they've actually moved and shifted towards the protesters. And actually, this is where it's turned very ugly, because women have started going to the temple. As I said, there's a huge pilgrimage now, and some of them just on principle. There's this woman called Trupti Desai who's doing that. And there have been roadblocks to stop them coming. Property's been attacked. Cars have been smashed and overturned. Women journalists have been injured. And if a woman is spotted in a bus, she's immediately surrounded, and police actually don't do anything to protect them at the moment. And it's quite menacing, Rod, because what they do is the men will stand there and clap, and they'll actually move forwards and clap. And would you believe there are women at these protests, and the women are moving forwards in a group, in a mob, and they will clap and beat any woman back. And this is really taking hold, and Kerala is now almost like a war zone. And this raises a couple of things, Rod. One is that this is a grassroots level protest, and they are saying that these liberal women who want to go to the temple, they know nothing, they're just urban elite. So there's that dichotomy going on. But then also, if you like, in a more sinister way, it shows how much the state is intervening and not only managing religious institutions, but even supervising the judiciary. And there's an uneasy nexus between all these three things. As I said, Trupti Desai has said that I will go to the temple, and she's on record as saying I may be killed. So from around now, she plans to try. So let's see what happens, Rod.
See what happens. But it does suggest that India is becoming deeply divided over this issue.
Yes, it's quite concerning.
Well, there is a very important Pakistani figure now in London. Is that right?
That's right. We spoke about him last time I did a desk with you. And this is 69-year-old Nawaz Sharif. He's the head of the single largest party in the lower house of Pakistan. He heads up a party called the Pakistan Muslim League, in brackets N for Nawaz. You have to be really, really important to have a political party named after you with your own initial, of course. Now, he was jailed for 7 years on corruption charges, and his daughter, who's his heir apparent, Miriam, was also jailed and had to surrender her passport. He has been very seriously ill with autoimmune disease, perhaps a tumour, and 6 government-appointed doctors said that to save his life, he needs to go abroad. Now, Prime Minister Imran Khan, hummed and hawed, and finally was sort of on the verge of letting him go, and then wanted to hold him back, but he was overruled by the court. So just last night, just yesterday, an air ambulance sent from Qatar was waiting in Lahore, and there was a lot of will he or won't he, but he boarded the plane, Nawaz Sharif, along with his brother Shabazz and his personal physician. And apparently he was pumped up with steroids. And last night he arrived in London, UK, and he's probably been in there today in the Harley Street clinic for tests. And his son is living in the UK, Hussein Nawaz, in some fancy apartments in Park Lane, Avonfield Apartments to be precise. And that's been readied with full medical facilities. His mother and daughter, Nawaz Sharif's mother and daughter, waved him off at Lahore Airport. Miriam can't leave the country because she's surrendered her passport. And so Nawaz Sharif, as I speak, is in London and undergoing these very, very serious tests. He's been allowed to leave the country for 4 weeks, supposedly, but that's extendable depending on medical advice.
And you have a story about Greta Thunberg. What's her connection?
Yes, I do. Yes, her connection is with a young lady called Iman Danish Khan, who's only 8. And she may be beating off Greta Thunberg as the youngest climate change activist, certainly in Pakistan, but definitely or in the world. Now, her thing is a doll called Fiza, which means environment in Urdu. And she wants to use the ancient art of storytelling. She has said, her statement says that she really hates plastics and that it's killing marine life, and she wants to wave a magic wand, this 8-year-old, bless her. And she's the youngest social entrepreneur in Pakistan. This doll, Fiza, has changeable clothes, and a book has been initiated by Iman, and it's going to have stories written by 8 to 15-year-olds. There's been a competition as to who can go in. And in these stories, superheroes help Fiza protect the environment and fight global warming. So, and the idea is that the revenue from the books and so on, and from Fiza the Ragdoll, will go to fund climate awareness talks and plays at school. And it's being rolled out in Sindh, the province, one of the 4 provinces of Pakistan, and the idea is it'll be rolled out around the rest. The books are going to be crowdfunded, and they're going to feature stories about smog and glacial melting, and, we've talked about glaciers before in this desk. And it's rather interesting and fascinating. Iman was competed for one of the biggest green business ideas competitions in the world. It's Climate Launchpad, and she so impressed them, even though she wasn't a winner outright, that they decided to take her on. She wanted to make functional items out of wood and old toys. So mentors there in Pakistan have taken her under their wing. They're very impressed with her, and it could catch on. Climate change and the environment is a big thing in Pakistan. It's been a running feature of our desks, hasn't it?